From UN Drive in Monrovia, the time is 6 p.m. This is Kear Newsline. Today is Wednesday, March 5, 2025. I'm Lee Monjue with this presentation. In the headlines, controversy deepens over amount used to construct a borehole in Papua County, following LWLC Managing Director Mo Ali's admittance that the hole constructed is 500 feet instead of previously claimed 750 feet. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for judicial reforms in government, says the process will ensure good governance and accountability. Also ahead of us, for what they describe as fraudulent attainment of degree from the state-run university, campus-based Student Unification Party demands the dismissal of Congress Inspector General Doe Cooper gives government 72 hours ultimatum or face unspecified actions. And away from Liberia, dozens of people in Sudan state of North Darfur are fear death following heavy shooting on a camp for displaced people. This plus our news bulletin, the voices of newsmakers, details of this development and much more are packaged. But first, Mariama and Jalloh and the news bulletin. Good evening, Mariama.
Good evening, Lee Monjue, and good evening, Liberia. Despite his persistent refusal to admit to concerns raised about the exact fate of borehole dock in Bapolu City, Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation Managing Director Muhammad Ali somersaults over previous statement that LWSC dug a borehole of 750 feet. Speaking on a radio show in Monrovia Wednesday, Ali confirmed that the borehole constructed in Bapolu County recently had made at providing safe drinking water stands at 500 feet instead of 750 feet. The LWSC managing director attributed his previous statement to mispresentation of the engineer actual information. Following his admittance, citizens are now skeptical whether US $250,000 was spent to undertake the project. Moreover, critics believe LWSC Managing Director Muhammad Ali assertions confirm reports that the reported US $250,000 project cost remains unrealistic. Liberian former President Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has called for judicial reforms within the national government aimed at bolstering independence, including transparent appointment process and enhanced accountability mechanism for all public officials. She made the statement while delivering her keynote address at the ongoing two-day Summit for Democracy and Political Accountability, exploring pathway for sustainable and inclusive development in Liberia's held in Monrovia on Wednesday, March 5, 2025. Madam Salif urged the government to empower civic participation, adding that democracy flourishes when every voice is heard. The ex Liberian leader emphasized the need for the creation of platforms that specifically empower women and youth to steer public disclosure. She added that although women hold top positions, including the head of the judiciary, only 12% legislative seats are held by women, underscoring the importance of empowering women in government. Former President Salif also stressed that Liberia's economic challenges are a clear call to action, adding not only are things bad today, but by all indications they are likely to get worse before they get better. She said these reforms necessarily include reforms to strengthen the rule of law, fostering robust civics engagement and public sector governance to create a foundation upon which sustainable development that benefits every Liberian citizen can flourish, thereby restoring public confidence at home and the nation's reputation on the global stage. University of Liberia campus-based Student Unification Party is demanding the immediate dismissal of Commerce Inspector General Doug Cooper. Sub-co-chair on the Bureau of Propaganda Research and Guardians, Eddie Yancey, said the demand is due to the Commerce Inspector General fraudulent action of obtaining a degree from the University of Liberia. Speaking to this station Wednesday, Eddie Yancey indicated that the action Doug Cooper has placed dark cloud over the country's education system. Soup at the same time gave the government of Liberia 72 hours ultimatum to dismiss Doug Cooper, noting that failure to do so will lead to unspecified revolutionary actions. He added that the action of Cooper has the ability to undermine the credibility of the university and government. Meanwhile, Soup co-chair on the Bureau of Propaganda Research and Guardians, Eddie Yancey, has declared that Doug Cooper as personal goal no glatter. Central Bank of Liberia Governor Henry Samau has emphasized that the legislation to establish Liberia's Insurance Commission will provide the Commission the opportunity to serve as a cornerstone for a stronger and more resilient insurance industry in the country. Governor Samoy also stated that the Commission will further support and buttress the Central Bank of Liberia goal to ensure a stable and inclusive financial sector. He made the statement at the official opening of three-day validation workshop to review the draft insurance law of 2020 in Monrovia on Wednesday. The CBL boss added that the instrument will also enforce mandatory insurance liabilities, including third party motor insurance, and issue license for insurance businesses across the country, among others. In his opening statement, the CBL boss termed the occasion as a historic moment for Liberia's financial sector, adding that the event brings closer to the creation of an independent insurance commission. At the occasion, several key stakeholders were in attendance expressing their full commitment for the establishment of the commission and lauded the CBL for the bold step taken. Ahead of Decoration Day on March 12, 2025, unknown individuals have vandalized hundreds of graves at Johnsonville Cemetery, leaving human remains and casket exposed. The cemetery has suffered a mass grave desecration, with numerous graves broken into and casket forcefully opened. The shocking discovery was made by family members who visited the site to check on their loved ones before the upcoming event. Lopu Johnson and Bernice Tukpa, who visited the cemetery, stated that the steel rods and marble stones used to secure the tombs had been stolen, leaving many graves unidentified. They attributed the incident to lack of security at the cemetery, accusing disadvantaged youths and nearby residents of being doers. UO President Dr. Laili Mapayan has reiterated her commitment to fostering engagement with stakeholders. She disclosed her engagement with international universities and the UO Alumni Association in America, which focus on strengthening partnerships for the institution advancement. Speaking at a press conference at the university campus Capitol Hill Wednesday, Dr. Marpayan indicated that she also kicked off the Lux FM President Hour program, a platform she believes is crucial for open dialogue within the university. Dr. Marpayan also announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding with various institutions aligned with the movement arrest agenda, particularly in the area of tourism. She emphasized the need to enhance the university corporate partnerships in tourism and establish a dedicated hospitality management program. The University of Liberia president also confirmed that starting August 2025, the university will implement a trimester system. She maintained that the add and drop feature on the university e-portal will not be reinstated due to enough time given students for registration. Liberia's Second Lady Madame Selency Stephanie Dankun has assured her office commitment to catering for women living with disabilities. Madame Kun said for too long women with disabilities have been marginalized, emphasizing her office ready to ensure they have access to education, healthcare, economic opportunities, and justice, among others. She spoke on Wednesday when her office hosted the first conference on the status of women with disabilities to address challenges and drive action in Liberia. The conference, which was held at the Samuel Kindos Basketball, brought together 1,000 women and girls with disabilities from over 17 organizations across Liberia, including women from all 17 districts in Montserrat County. Madam Kuhn called on the disabled community to raise up and make their voices heard while highlighting plans to advance policies to enhance the growth and development within the disabled community. Agriculture Minister Alexandra Nutter has cautioned his farmers' engagement tour aimed at educating and empowering local farmers across the country, addressing group of farmers and community residents in Sadokin Lofa County. Minister Nuta said the engagement was part of the initiative with the Liberia Feed Yourself agenda under the National Agricultural Development Plan, which was launched by President Joseph Walker in 2024. He told farmers that the country is supposed to produce and feed its population by 2029, putting an end to the importation of 70% of rice and reducing huge expenditure on rice importation yearly. To kickstart this process, Minister Nuta asserted that the ministry will begin to develop 6,500 hectares of land in Lofa County, accommodating 1,350, the total of 50,000 hectares of land needed to complete the project by 2029. Ahead of the Alternative National Congress convention, an executive member of the party has decried leadership deficiency and lack of collaborative efforts among executive members of the party. Mohammed Sharif asserted that the Alternative National Congress is currently faced with leadership deficits, alleging that the executive members of the party are disconnected from the party's operations. Sharif called for administrative change and leadership overhaul of those beliefs have destroyed in the party's leadership and need to give change for those with new ideas to serve. Mohammed Sharif made these comments when he served as guest on the Kear Morning Show on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the former Lofa County District 2 representative candidate announced his bid to contest the chairmanship position in the upcoming National Convention of the Alternative National Congress. According to him, his decision to contest the position stemmed from his exemplary leadership experience and influence in the party. A Liberian businessman, Koli Gege, has expressed concern over police ban placed on motorcyclists from plying main streets in Monrovia and parts adjacent. According to Koli, though such security measures is intended to further avoid street violence caused by motorcyclists, but it is important to note that such decision has a way of increasing the unemployment rate. Speaking to the station Wednesday, Colley noted that the increase in unemployment rate, particularly with the youth population, has the ability to increase criminal activities across the country. He wants such police restriction to be revisited, emphasizing that can be some restriction on the time limit set on motorcyclist movement. The Liberian entrepreneur urged motorcyclists to stay peaceful in their engagement with relevant government authorities over the possible lifting of the ban, warning that that their action that could endanger the country's peace. That's the bulletin of news, and it's now back to you, Lee Monjue, for continuation.
Mariama Jalloh and for bulletin of news from the news center. She returns with our foreign development. One of the big stories we are following from President Ellen Johnson's leave calls for judicial reforms in government, says the process will ensure good governance and accountability. In our forest development, despite his persistent refusal to admit to concerns raised about the exact fate of Boho Dot in Bapudu County, LWSC Managing Director Mohamed Ali somersault over previous statement that LWSC dug a borehole of 750 feet. Speaking on a radio show in Monrovia Wednesday, Ali confirmed that the borehole constructed in the county recently aimed at providing safe drinking water stands at 500 feet instead of 750 feet. The LWSC Managing Director attributed his previous statement to misrepresentation of the engineer actual information.
You know, I hear people say, oh, it's not possible. Even private homes can take up to 500 feet, depending on the hydrogeological survey. So now my engineers confirmed to me that because we have sufficient deposit of groundwater in that area, the well is actually 500 feet deep and not 750 feet, as I initially stated. The engineer constructed it based on that thing. My thing, our initial thought was that okay, because when we are digging the well, it makes me stronger. The other thing is there are some of our colleagues who do not like to accept that okay, what I accepted in the initial thing is wrong. This is the right thing. Like for example, somebody will say, "Oh, you never want to pay the process." In fact, the initial thing was that the water well was everything that you did to dig the well is $1,000, and then later it flipped to $10,000, and then later they said you didn't go through competitive bidding.
LWSC Managing Director Mohamed Ali. University of Liberia campus-based student unification parties demanding the immediate dismissal of Congress Inspector General Doug Cooper, co-chair on the Bureau of Propaganda Research and Guidance. Eddie Yancey said the demand is due to Congress Inspector General Doug Cooper fraudulent action of obtaining a degree from the University of Liberia. Speaking to the station Wednesday, Eddie Yancey gave the government 72 hours ultimatum to dismiss Doug Cooper, noting that failure to do so would lead to unspecified revolutionary action. We sincerely apologize that clip is not ready. Ahead of Decoration Day on March 12, 2025, unknown individuals have vandalized hundreds of graves at Johnsonville Cemetery, leaving human remains and caskets exposed. The cemetery has suffered a mass grave desecration, with numerous graves broken into and caskets forcefully opened. The shocking discovery was made by family members who visited the site to check on their loved ones before the upcoming event.
The one our tie everywhere just open, 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 open. When I add the say the sofa boys came around, cook everything. So that's what they when it says these people I need it.
University of Liberia President Dr. Lydia McPayan has reiterated her commitment to foster engagement with stakeholders. She disclosed her engagement with international universities and the UL Alumni Association in America, which focus on strengthening partnership for the institution advancement. Speaking at the press conference at the University Capitol Hill campus on Wednesday, Dr. McPayan indicated that she also kicked off the Loose President Hour program, a platform she believes is crucial for open dialogue with the university.
Another association in America. I first met with the leadership of that organization at their invitation. I got to know the group and their priorities, and then later they held an open Zoom meeting for me to attend, where I was able to address various chapters of that organization. I also had an opportunity to kick off the president. Some of you may have seen my initial broadcast that took place remotely on Monday, and I really enjoyed that. I'm so glad that the university has that venue for me to engage.
The University of Liberia president also confirmed that starting August 2025, the university will implement a trimester system. She maintained that the iron drop feature on the university e-portal will not be reinstated.
I say, and this is after consultation with the vice president for academic affairs, my take is that there has been enough time for registration because it started in October and it was extended by 2 additional weeks during the semester. That being said, I understand there's two problems which are being dealt with manually. If the manual system isn't working, then we will rectify it. But I do not want to reopen dropping that. I'll tell you why. It's important that we are still in guidelines. You can't just take every process and change everything. This is not a demand for the process. It's a structured environment. Universities operate according to rules. And if we just constantly change our rules, our reputation at university is in preserved. Okay? And I'm going to build a reputation off. So when we have standards and we follow people come to state and anything. I came here to never not be here. So people should not push over the button. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But at the same time, I need to sympathize with people who have a legitimate situation. For example, places who have been raped or other people with serious concerns. I know that because we don't have our own environment digitized, that it can be very hard. One of my big goals when we see the strategic plan, digitization will be a big part of it. Most of the colleges and universities around the world use digital things to keep track of all these things. It doesn't take a long time because everything is online and the things online don't talk to each other. We'll get it, but it's not there.
University of Liberia president Dr. Lydia McPayan. Agriculture Minister Lizana Nota has continued his farmer engagement tour aimed at educating and empowering local farmers across the country, addressing a group of farmers and community residents in Sokinandu, Lofa County. Minister Nota said the engagement was part of the initiative with the Liberia Feed Yourself agenda under the National Agriculture Development Plan, which was launched by President Joseph Boakai in 2024.
So last year, 2029, Liberia is supposed to be growing sufficient rice to feed herself. We are supposed to be developing 50,000 hectares of grow land to grow rice. This year, we will do 6,500 hectares. So this year, we want to do 1,350. So the 1,350 will be growing. Here in Sagodi too, will do 100 hectares. Here in
Agriculture Minister is an Anuta. Well, listeners, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Kear Newsline. Today is Wednesday, March 5, 2025. This is the 6 p.m. edition of the program. I'm Lee Monjue and the presenters here. The stories top the news this evening. Controversy deepens over amount used to construct a borehole in Bapudu County following LWSC Managing Director Mohamed Ali's admittance that the borehole constructed is 500 feet instead of previously claimed 750 feet. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for judicial reforms in government, says the process will ensure good governance and accountability. For what he described as fraudulent attainment of degree from the state-run university, campus-based to the Unification Party demands the dismissal of Congress Inspector General Doe Cooper, gives government 72 hours ultimatum or faces unspecified action. And away from Liberia, dozens of people in the Sudanese state of North Darfur are feared dead following heavy shooting on the camp for displaced people. We take another break to be back with sports and more development. Many thanks for joining us. Up next is Fatumata Barry and Sports to Passion. Good evening, Fatumata.
Good evening, Monjue, Lee Monjue. Good evening, Liberia. Thomas Kojo concludes week one of training with local provisional squad. Coach Kojo held two sessions with his selected squad this week and uh, relieved them for club football set for the rest of the midweek and the weekend. It can be recalled Coach Kojo called 36 players for a provisional squad, and from that squad, he will select players to represent the national team in the upcoming matches against Tunisia and Sao Tome and Principe on 19 and 24 March. Players selected from the provisional squad will add to the international base that will be released by the coach subsequently. The LFA leagues are gearing towards the end as second division plays outstanding match day 19. League runners will GCFC expand their lead atop of the table with a 3-2 win away to Philadelphia Lone Star as they are now with 56 points in 23 matches. Downtown FC remains third in the table after a 2-all draw away to Pax FC. District 17 comfortably defeated Nimba Kwado 3-1 at the Doris Williams Post Pitch in Grand County. Samira massively defeated Mighty Enforcers 8-0 at the Nancy Vito Stadium. The Enforcers remains with 9 points in 23 matches this season and are still rock bottom of the league table. Compa SC narrowly edged out MPA Anchors 3-2 at the SKD practice pitch in Pinsville. Gompa has now moved up to 8th place in the table with 32 points in the league. CC United and Junior Professionals share the spoils 3-all as both sides continue to battle relegation. CC remains right outside the relegation zone 13th in the table, while Junior Professionals sits 14th on 21 points. Away from Liberia, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has announced that the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup final in the United States of America will break with tradition and have a Super Bowl-style halftime show. In Europe, the UEFA Champions League round of 16 leg one match day one concluded on Tuesday night. Club Brugge and Aston Villa met for the second time in the history of the Champions League, and the odds favored the Brits outfit as they will take home a massive 3-1 win. Leon Bailey opened the score sheet for the visitors at the third minute at the Jean Bridel Stadium in Belgium, but not for long as Maxime de Kuffer equalized 12 minutes later. Michele Ungo at the 82nd minute gave the visitors the edge before Marco Asensio, 88th minute penalty, sealed a comfortable lead ahead of the second leg at Villa Park. In a Madrid derby, Real Madrid added another win to their head-to-head against city rivals Atletico de Madrid on the night. Real edged Tico 2-1 at the famous Santiago Bernabeu. Rodrigo Goes opened the score sheet in the fourth minute, but Julian Alvarez equalized before the halftime whistle. Brahim Diaz sealed the narrow win for Los Blancos as Chouameni and Rodrigo had scintillating performances. Rodrigo won the man of the match. Borussia Dortmund and Los Lille ended level at the Signal Iduna Park in Germany. Karim Adeyemi put the hosts ahead, but Hakon Harriksson equalized for the visitors at the 68th minute, leaving the full-time result at 1-all. All is left for the Stade Pierre-Maroy in France. Arsenal had a fantastic win in Netherlands, and all indicates to them already securing a spot to the quarterfinals, unless PSV are preparing for the biggest comeback in the history of the Champions League. The Gunners put 7 past Walter Benitez as Raya conceded once on the night. Martin Odegaard net a brace and assisted Ricardo Calafiori to win the man of the match. Mikel Marino net one and assisted one. Calafiori also net and assisted as Trossard, Waneri, and Duran Timber made the score sheet. Feyenoord is currently facing Inter Milan, which is 1-0 at the halftime break in favor of Inter Milan. Matches continues later tonight when Benfica hosts Barca at the Dallas Stadium. In Portugal, Bayern Munich hosts Bayern Leverkusen in an all-German clash at the Allianz Arena, and Paris Saint-Germain hosts Liverpool at the Parc des Princes. Monjue, that's the news from the Swiss desk.
Fatoumata Bawden's poster Passion of Life in More Development. Central Bank of Liberia Governor Henry Sam will further support and buttress the Central Bank of Liberia's goal to ensure a stable and inclusive financial sector. He made a statement at the official opening of a 3-day validation workshop to review the draft insurance law of 2020 in Monrovia on Wednesday.
It's a defining moment for the future of Liberia's insurance sector. The figures are collective determination to build a stronger, more vibrant financial system that serves the needs of the people and contribute to long-term economic growth of Liberia. The Central Bank of Liberia is committed to supporting this transition every step of the way and ensuring that the insurance commission is equipped to regulate, protect consumers, and foster a competitive and sustainable insurance market. Nigeria, who has been involved in the development of this proposed Life Insurance Commission Act, we also want to thank all of you for responding to our request to form part of this validation exercise. On such a times, in the conversation during the Insurance Commission participant and insurance expert in support of our validation.
Meanwhile, the chair of Law Reform Commission, Councillor Waka Kanen, Transport Minister Salif Taylor, Chief Judge for Commercial Court Eva Mape Morgan, and Deputy Minister for Economic Management at the Ministry of Finance, David Zod, among others, remarked at the event.
Push in this regulation for the efficient running of the institution. It is for that purpose that have embarked upon a validation. This exercise ordinarily will require that the document be projected and we go through it word for word so that we can protect and law every word, every language, every paragraph is important. But first nature of this study, we decided to compartmentalize the document into sections before you register anything at the Ministry of Transport. It must be fully insured. Administration, I would like to reaffirm our full support to the vision of His Excellency Jose Imam.
The head of the Alternative National Congress Convention and executive member of the party has decried leadership deficiency and lack of collaborative effort among executive members of the party. Mohammed Sharif asserted that the Alternative National Congress is currently faced with leadership deficit, alleging that executive members of the party are disconnected from the party's operations. Mohammed Sharif made the comments when he served as guest on the Kear morning show on Wednesday.
Coming out to this, we have had our brother be chairman before, the current chairman, Olusegun, the chairman before since 2005. The best things are in stop dancing in the 2015. Again, it is. The problem that the government is facing right now is similar thing. Yes, it's our current national executive is completely disconnected from the voters. They are completely disconnected from the rest of the citizens. Here today, you got 4 or 5 people together. Say you want the same faces that were there yesterday to be there today with the ANC. So, coming back to get involved in politics is big. We have to build a new generation of leaders. That is what Nigeria needs. Because if we don't build a new generation of leaders, there is three things.
Meanwhile, the former Lofa County District 2 representative candidate announced his bid to contest the chairmanship position in the upcoming national convention of the Alternative National Congress.
And I want, with this experience I have, I want to be objective. Yes, I'm saying this with no apology because I've had enough leadership experience. I want to bring ANC to a level where we can build a new generation of leaders that will serve Nigeria. People will see their dreams come true in their lifetime. People there who say, I'll be us one day. They died and I'll be yours. I'll give you an example. Go on at the civil service. These people have served the country until their retirement. Some of them, they can then do their say, do career again. Then the story of this, they have fast, they say fast, you can see that.
An executive member of the Alternative National Congress, Mohammed Sharif. A successful Liberian businessman, Cody Gigi, has expressed concern over police being placed on motorcyclists from plying major streets in Morocco and parts adjacent. According to Cody, though such security measure is intended to further avoid street violence caused by motorcyclists, but it is important to note that such decision has a way of increasing the unemployment rate. Speaking to the station Wednesday, Cody noted that the increase in unemployment rate, particularly with the youthful population, has the ability to increase criminal activities across the country.
The current violence of motorcyclists to flying main streets in Morocco is concerning. Though it's a clear truth that such security measure is intended to further avoid street violence caused by motorcyclists. But it's important to note that such a decision has increased the unemployment rate. The increase in the unemployment rate, particularly with the youthful population, has the ability to increase criminal activities. I think such restriction to be revisited with integrity of their movement. Moreover, it's important that motorcyclists stay peaceful in their engagement with relevant authorities. Though the recent protest was violence free, I'm urging you to disengage from protests and all action that could cause violence and undermine the country's peace and security.
Cody Gigi is a successful Liberian businessman and entrepreneur. Fatoumata Barry is said this time with our foreign development.
Dozens of people in the Sudanese state of North Darfur are feared dead following heavy shelling on a camp for displaced people. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces attacked a crowded market at Abu Shuk, a camp on the outskirts of the city of El Fasher, for roughly 2 hours on Tuesday evening, a local official told the BBC. The camp is home to over 500,000 displaced people, and the assault on its market is the second in 3 days. El Fasher is the last major town in Darfur under army control and has been under siege by the RSF for almost a year. Tuesday's attack on Abu Shuk took place at the busiest time of the day. The camp's population are mostly Muslims who are observing the holy month of Ramadan, and many were out shopping at the market, preparing to break their fast for the day. The shelling caused several injuries, ranging from mild to severe. Dr. Ibrahim Nedian, a medic at the El Fasher last functioning hospital, told the BBC. Abu Shuk was also shelled by the RSF on Sunday in an attack that killed 6 civilians, local health volunteers said.
Well, listeners, on that note, this I would like to draw down the curtains of today's Wednesday, March 5, 2025, 6 p.m. edition of Kear Newsline. This has been the joint effort of the News and Current Affairs Department here at Kear Communications Network. Many thanks to all of our reporters, contributors, editors who helped in making this edition of the program a success. Many thanks to Mariama and Jalloh who brought us a full bulletin of news from the News Center. Fatoumata Barry was here with polls in our foreign development. Many thanks to James Walker who sat at control and handled the technical aspect. George Gué ensured our visibility goes beyond the studio. Before we take a leave, a recap of our headlines. Controversy deepens over amount used to construct a borehole in Bapodu County, following LWSC Managing Director Mo Ali's admittance that the borehole constructed is 500 feet instead of previously claimed 750 feet. Ex-Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf calls for judicial reforms in government, says the process will ensure good governance and accountability. As you other heard in the news for what they describe as fraudulent attainment of degree from the state-run university, campus-based student unification party demands the dismissal of Congress Inspector General Doug Cooper, gives government 72 hours ultimatum or faces unspecified action. And away from Liberia, dozens of people in Sudan state of North Darfur are feared dead following heavy shooting on the camp for displaced people. Thanks for listening. I'm Limbo Monjue. I presented. Good evening.